All right, so
Oh,
we are super excited to come on live and to offer this amazing recording on how, or I would say the top questions people have about how to make money in travel as an entrepreneur, as a travel agent. And to help me out today, I have this amazing and dynamic leader out of Texas. Okay. She is active duty Air Force. She is an amazing wife, a beautiful mom. She is super fired up. And y'all, she has almost 100 travel agents on her team. She's been in this business just over 2 years and totally killing it while she's counting down to retirement. So please help me introduce Director in Training, soon to be one-star director, Miss Tina de los Santos.
thank you. I love how you added a little spice to that. Thank you so much for introducing me. Let me throw it back to you because you are so phenomenal at what you do, leading the charge on Team Relentless, our phenomenal 4-star, going 5-star director, top recruiter in the biz, over here earning $250,000 residually. Okay. Multi six-figure businesses. You definitely are a pillar of experience over here. So thank you for that. How are you doing tonight?
I am so fired up. I am so excited. I see you're on TikTok going live. So many of our team members are going live, sharing information with their friends and family. People are just, I mean, going on vacations, even introducing themselves while on cruises, while at resorts, while just out there in the world. And I know that there are so many people who are looking to earn additional income without an additional job. And so, of course, this Q&A is designed for those individuals that have gone to the workshop or maybe a webinar presentation or any type of presentation and learn the details about the business. So we're going to focus on the top questions, Tina. One of the top questions that people will ask is, how much money can I make doing this?
That's a great question. And that really will depend on how much effort you put into your business. If you are going to solely work the travel business, then it is going to be exactly what you sell is what you make. So you have to really hone in on using the skills that these top suppliers, these top travel brands are giving you to help you market that vacation to make the money. And so that will definitely be for that avenue. If you are going to be over on the marketing business, that's unlimited, right? Both are unlimited. Both opportunities are definitely unlimited, but it will depend on how much time and effort you put into your business. But what I love is that that's a great question, Coach, because we have the tools here that actually help us be able to tap into the income streams. So, however you want to work your business is going to be dependent upon how much time and effort you put into it, but then you will see the fruits of your labor come back as long as you are working your businesses. Back to you.
That's so, yes, that's so good. And most time people join this opportunity and it's their first time ever being in business, first time ever having to even consider using social media, or people think they need a huge network. So a top question we also get, and I would love to hear your answer, is how do you market your business? How do you gain clients? How do you get people interested to join your team?
What I love is that you have created this phenomenal tool that we have here, that 14-day working book challenge, right? That absolutely is a game-changing document. So with that document, it will break down how to market your business. Okay. So you don't have to overthink this at all. That tool is a guide. It's essentially a start guide. And I like to actually call it that because it will lay down the foundation on how to market your business. And we have multiple ways. As people are, um, joining our organization, they see that we're kind of all doing it different ways, but the foundation is already set. So that way you get a chance to kind of add your own spin to it. But you can market to, when I got started, for me, it was about friends and family, like people who I already knew. And so, even coworkers. So they wanted to support me. And so that way I was able to still, book their travel, reach out to friends and family personally, letting them know exactly what I was doing, what I had just embarked on, this new journey, and to allow me to be able to book their vacations for them. But what I love is that if you don't have the support of friends and family and coworkers, that happens. We got to be real. If you don't have their support, then there are tools that are set up to allow us to be able to do online marketing, because it is a remote online business. So you don't have to wait for friends and family. You can utilize social media strategies and all the things that are already set in place for us to tap into, to be able to use that cold market. People who you don't know will still want to support you by the tools that we have here that will give us opportunities to do attraction marketing, faceless marketing, these social media strategies, right? You literally lay out the blueprint. That's what I love about Team Relentless, is the blueprint is there. So whatever avenue you are choosing to embark on, you can gain success in either way.
I love it. Why? Because when I got started in the business, I did what made sense. I'm like, everybody needs to know about this. First of all, I need y'all to book travel with me for real, for real. So even if you don't want the business, I want to earn your travel booking business. And so I did exactly what you did. I sent text messages out. I made phone calls. I wanted to learn and practice with my friends and family before I put myself all the way out there. And I really quickly realized I needed more friends. I'm like, dang, I don't have that many friends, do I? So I had to get on social media where I immediately start learning a skill set so that I can broaden my reach, so I can build a stronger influence. And that totally changed. So doing things like video marketing, email marketing, text message marketing, just making sure that people that would book travel with me referred me to their friends and family. I was tapping into all these different networks, and it was amazing. I would even tell my friends and family, even if you don't want to book with me, if you don't want to join my team, it's okay. Like my post, share my post. So then they were putting me in their networks with their friends and their coworkers and, people they knew that I didn't know. So I also like saying that marketing travel is fun. It's not like those things where we have to show a before and after picture. We don't have to ask people if they want to lose weight. We don't have to ask people to taste test or sample our product. People are already traveling. They love it. They understand it. They desire to do more of it. So we're definitely in a great place. Another question we get, because we are both a travel agent and also a travel entrepreneur, travel business coach. People want to know, do I have to recruit? I would love for you to touch on that.
That's a good question. It's totally optional. And the thing about that is I think people have this preconceived notion on what recruiting is and what they're probably used to seeing in the past and their histories. And so I didn't have any prior knowledge professionally with doing this, but what I love is that we already had it laid out for us to help me become professional in it and to gain the understanding. And think about, I mean, recruiting actually is around us everywhere. People are recruiting for teams, sororities, fraternities, all kind of stuff, right? They are recruiting for jobs, all the things. So I love that, it is optional, but I would encourage folks to not stray away from it just to get a better understanding. But ultimately it is optional, and you can add on that part of your business at a later time. What do you say about that?
Yeah, so I don't like when people think of entrepreneurship like employment. So when they ask questions like, do I have to recruit? And you said it so well, you don't have to do anything. It's your own business. But what I will also say is that recruiting comes natural in travel, because 85% of travelers already don't use a travel agent. They already book their own travel. And so we're not like traditional travel agents, where if someone says, no, I don't need an agent, I book my own travel, those traditional travel agents lose money, because that individual is still going to recruit or going to book travel, just not through them. So the rewarding part of that is, even if you are focused on selling travel, then you get a chance to say, you know what, this one client or you thought was going to be your client because you see them traveling all the time. They're like, oh, I don't need a travel agent. I book my own travel. Now you
I
have the
like
opportunity. Now you have the opportunity to say, you know what? Well, let me show you how to get in the business of travel. And now that income is coming back to you. And so I definitely love that. And sometimes, to be quite honest, there are several people that have come into the business and just focus on selling travel. We're not the type of team that pressure people to recruit, but I like for you to understand what makes sense also in the business. But some people reject what they don't really understand. And
I
so we
love
definitely
that.
like that.
I love that because I truly have felt that it has never been pressured here at all. And you do see that in, other locations. But over here, it definitely has been no pressure at all. But what I have, enjoyed seeing is that sometimes folks actually organically, as you said, will add that on to, add that business on because it just makes sense eventually. I have a question for you. How long is the training and what does it look like?
Yeah, so we have different forms of training. So with our host agency, we have a recommended basic training. Nothing is required with our company. I love that. But our recommended basic training takes generally a little less than 2 hours, could be 3 hours, depending on how much you pause, rewind, stop, play, whatever. It's totally on demand, pick up where you leave off. But that training is highly recommended. Why? Because it's teaching you basic things: how to book a hotel, how to book a cruise, how to book a flight, how to market yourself, how to look into your back office, how to register a booking, things like that. The other types of training are your certifications with different suppliers. Those trainings vary. For example, I just completed Celebration Key training with Carnival Cruise Lines, and that training was less than an hour. Then you have suppliers that do too much. Okay. I'll say, listen, they know their product. They're like, no, we want you to know every little bitty thing about our product. And the example that always come to mind is Disney. Disney is probably the longest training, which is why I've never done it. 8 hours is what I've heard, but you got to consider that's a big brand. It's a global brand. Disney have parks, they have resorts, they have cruises, they have meal plans. People go to Disney for family vacation, destination weddings, honeymoons, family reunions, school trips, church trips. So they have a lot to teach. So I love that. But on average, most of the trainings in travel are about 60 to 90 minutes, right? Also, when it comes to training with team building, those trainings are really simple too. 15 minutes to 30 minutes training you on how to brand yourself, leadership skills. We have conversations on books that we read and different things of that nature. So I absolutely love that there's a flexibility in travel, but understand, or in training, understand the industry was set up for busy people. The industry was set up for working people. Most people that are attracted to this business work full-time jobs. So understand that it's absolutely something that you will be able to manage with your other businesses, your jobs, your family life, all of those things. That's a good question, Tina. My question for you now is what sets our company apart? Because I know you hear people all the time want to know, why should I join you, Tina? Why should I join Team Relentless? Why should I join your host agency and marketing company?
Oh, that's a great question. And I'm so glad that I had the discernment to choose this team 2 years ago. So, you definitely want to know exactly who you are partnering with. You want to know that there are people behind the company, people behind the brand, people behind the organization. And I truly feel that way through Team Relentless. This is definitely a team of, men and women, all ages, all genders, all nationalities. We are a very eclectic team. And so I definitely feel that it's really important to, first of all, do your own research on the actual company, right? So 2 companies here. Once you all are going through your workshop, then you'll get a chance to actually see the history, the overview of both companies. They are both accredited, legitimate, reputable companies. And so you want to start there. And then after that, you want to dig deeper because the evidence is already there. Our host agency, over 35 years of history, our marketing company, close to 10 years of history and evidence there, documented 5 millionaires through our marketing company, a lot of money being paid out through our host agency. So the stats and the facts are there. That's a given. Now you want to dig a little bit deeper and to figure out exactly who do you want to sponsor with, who do you want to partner with the team. And that's where I truly feel there's an organic, natural care, genuineness that we have here within Team Relentless. And we become a travel family. Yes, it is yes, it is 2 corporations, right? But we become a travel family. So more importantly, get the facts out the way, check those boxes. But for me, it was really about this will replace my career in the Air Force. So for me, I want to be a part of something that actually matters to me. I don't want to just do something just to be doing it. So I actually was looking at that as part of my checklist on what I was looking for in a side business, right? Soon to be full-time business. So it definitely matters who you're partnering with because you want to know, do they have evidence? Do they have the tools, systems set in place? And over here, yes, yes, and yes, right? We have all the tools here. You have done a phenomenal job about not gatekeeping anything, spending your own money, you know what I mean, to allow all of us to really gain, fast track success in our own individual businesses. So that to me is a really big deal. And it gives me a huge warm fuzzy. And hopefully you all who are watching this can understand my sincereness about that, because it really means a lot that we have these tools and so many resources here to help all of us, gain success in a way that works for us. So that's a big deal. Definitely matters. Great question there, Coach.
Yes, thank you. Do you have any questions?
Let me see. I'm trying to think about what do I get asked often. So I get asked often, can we book our own travel and earn commission from our own travel? That's a great question. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that is a good question. So, because in travel as a professional, you're going to have access that's not necessarily available to the public. You could treat yourself like a customer and earn the commission, or you will be able to have access to what we can't really talk to you guys about until you're in the business, but you'll have access to experience travel personally. We did give some examples of what that could look like in our travel agent presentation, learning about the business, right? And we call those some familiarization trips, educational trips. And so sometimes, for example, I'm trying to think. So with my son's wedding last year, I booked my family and I as a package, as if we were customers, and earned a commission because the commission was greater than the access at the moment, and to be included in the group for the destination wedding. It just made it easier. It made more sense. I still was able to check in as a travel agent and they already knew I was coming, right? So I do love that. Oftentimes people will plan their own birthday trips, their group birthday trips, and they'll book everyone else's travel and earn a commission, but they'll keep their travel separate because of the access that you'll gain as a travel professional. I hope that helps answer that question. Another question I usually get asked is, let me see here. I do have some on here. What's the difference between being a travel agent and running a travel agency than a timeshare?
That's good. That's good, because often people try to compare the two. And no, 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 not at all. With timeshares, you're having to sit for this, crazy long presentation. And, they're going to, once you do sign up and you're throwing all this money and there's blackout days. And usually the date that you're trying to book the timeshare is already blacked out because it's, of course, during our kids' spring break or our kids' summer break or the holidays. None of that is going to be happening over here. We are getting a legitimate accredited agency. And so we have full control over that. There are no blackout dates, right? Whatever we want to book for ourselves or for other people, our clients, right? Or family or friends or whoever the case may be, you can very much do that. And we have partnerships now with multiple preferred partners. So all of these top brands that we all love, I personally love a good IHG property, a good Marriott property, right? These cruise lines that we have, exclusive access with, they're in our pockets now. Like literally we can hold their hand. They are guiding us. They are allowing us to utilize their marketing tools. They're showing us how to gain clients, how to market to other, people, giving us access that we would never have with the timeshare. So, not to bash them, but they not like us, right? This is not that at all. This is clearly a major difference where we get a chance to actually earn money from that. Let's talk about that real quick, right? We're not just being able to just pay into something. We're actually getting a chance to make money, earn commission back from everything that we book, every travel transaction. We're getting a chance to get ahead of that. So that's a really big deal. Major differences between the two.
Yeah, and most
You
people
want to add
are
to that?
salty, right? Most people are salty after getting involved in a timeshare because they paint this lavish picture of you having all this access to travel and you're limited. About 6 years ago, I took the kids to a trip in Tampa and we stayed at this beautiful Wyndham property in Clearwater Beach, Florida. And it was so nice. And so while we were at the pool, I pulled out my phone and I went live on Facebook, right? So I knew nothing about TikTok back then. So, anyways, I'm going live on Facebook and I'm just talking about how you should be a travel agent and what you get access to and all these things. And so after I ended the live, a lady was like, okay, I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but I was all in your business. My family and I paid $40,000 for this timeshare with RCI. And she pointed to where her room was. And this particular hotel chain, they split the resort in two. So regular customers were on one side and timeshare customers were on the raggedy side. Did you hear what I said?
Not
Oh,
the raggedy.
beat up, not updated. It didn't even look like it was a part of the same property. Our room was beautiful. It was just like amazing. And I was like, oh my. Well, she ended up joining the team after our conversation. But just to think about, she was telling me about her timeshare because I never had one. And she says, we pay all this money. You still have to submit your dates. If you don't take the dates, they give you points. So you don't ever get any form of money back. And then at some of these properties she was naming off, I was educating her and she didn't even know these properties she was going to were all-inclusive properties. So the way the timeshares worked is that it only covered accommodations. They would have to pay extra to upgrade for all-inclusive. And I'm like, they are scamming you. It's the big scam like properties that we're all familiar with as agents. And I'm like, wow. But if you don't know any better, you can't do any better. And so that's why I'm always super fired up that we get this opportunity to answer questions, and to educate people. So oftentimes when people get in this business, they're asking, do you know how I can sell my timeshare? They're really hard to get out of. Like they really do seem like legalized scams. You paying for access. You're not paying for the properties because you stay in a different room every time you visit. it's not yours. It doesn't belong to you. And even if you allow a friend or family member, you can't book out 15 rooms, 20 rooms, or the entire resort like we could, as travel business owners. So that is one of my favorite questions.
I love that you actually broke it down like that because listen, yeah, once you all do your research, this is not that at all. Thank you for that breakdown. Let me see here. What if we don't like what if the actual person does not travel? Like, can they still be successful? I know you get asked that quite often, and so do I. What do you think about that?
Yeah, we get asked that question because a lot of people wish they could travel more and they don't have the money. So they'll look at this opportunity like, wow, if I start a travel business, that I can make money and then I already be in the business and I'll have my access, right? So there is actually a lot of people that join this opportunity that don't travel a whole lot. For example, my best friend, Brandon, he's a director, but he also have MS. And for a while, he wasn't comfortable traveling because of his mobility, right? Or the challenges he would have with his mobility. Brandon was booking cruises and had never been on a cruise. Brandon was booking international trips and had never been out of the country yet. And it's because of the thorough training that we receive. So some people are able to sell countries and destinations that they haven't experienced themselves, but because of the type of training that we receive through video, through exams, through also being able to call the suppliers, having access to their emails, we're supported to be able to sell a destination or type of travel, even if you haven't experienced it yet. So it's a great business for you to be able to leverage, even if you're not able to travel. When I first joined, I had 2 toddlers. I didn't feel comfortable traveling for long periods of time, leaving them or making, having someone else babysit them. And so I was running this business, killing it on social media, doing all the things. And I wasn't traveling a whole lot in the beginning while building my business. So you definitely can be successful without having to travel a whole lot. Yeah, so that was really good. And people want to know, can my spouse do this business too? Tina, you and your husband are a power couple. I love that. My husband and I are a power couple as well. So, talk about that because people ask that question often.
I love that because I mean, what better way than to work on, your passion than being able to do it with the person who you're spending your life with. So I love that we get a chance to do the research before we got started. Then we made the decision to get started and it just made sense for both of us. But this will free us. This will free us in so many different ways. So I love that we get a chance to do what we were already doing, which is travel the world with our family. I was doing girls' trips, he was doing the guys' trips, right? And then our family vacations. Now we get a chance to actually do it in a way that is beneficial to us. So now we're able to never spend the same price on our family vacations. And we're also able to make money by doing this on a very part-time basis right now. So I love that we get a chance to do it together. So we both kind of complement each other in different ways with this business. But ideally, we both understand the value in what we have here. Maybe it didn't make sense in the very, very beginning, but we knew we were on to something pretty big here. Now that we've been doing it for 2 years, we actually get a chance to share the opportunity with other people. But doing it together has really helped us out. So where if I have the kids want, during at nighttime and he wants to tag in, he's helping me book travel on the back end, or if I'm over here coaching up our team of other, top leaders, which are also in the business. Also, we kind of, just cater out and really get a chance to balance out each other and whatever that definition even means with balance, right? But I love that you get a chance to bring your spouse with you. Now we get a chance to tap into all these different travel agent only exclusive vacations and we get a chance to do it together now. And we both get a chance to really, benefit from all of our access. So I love that. How does your husband feel about the business? Y'all been doing it for 10, almost 10
Listen,
years now.
Yeah, almost 10 years. And it's so funny because some people will say, well, I need to talk to my spouse before joining. And I always commend them. I respect everybody have different marriages, but my husband came home from work. I was like, babe, we own a travel business. And he was like, what? You did you go to school for it? I didn't know you were thinking about becoming a travel agent. I'm like, me either. But the opportunity presented itself, it made sense. And here we are. But my husband loves the business. He is my favorite coach. He coaches me through, I mean, so much as an entrepreneur. And I also love that we aren't limited to our travel. So we travel often. We mastermind and brainstorm together. And I love that too. We've gone on business trips together, fun trips together. We honeymoon a lot all year, right? And we travel with the kids together. We do a lot of things. And so the recruiting side of the business isn't his wheelhouse, right? But coaching his wife is. Okay. And now that my husband is retired 2 years in, I was sharing with him, I was like, babe, you could do some of this travel training. And he was like, yes, he would love to. So I'm super excited about that. Very organized, detail oriented. He's just amazing. So I love doing business with my man. Okay. Um,
As you
um,
should. It's the best of all worlds, as you should. My turn for a question, right? Let me think about one. Let's see here. How many hours does the typical person have to put into their business?
So yeah, remember, they can put as many as they want, but it depends on your goals. If you have little goals, work little hours. If you have big goals, work big hours. But what I will tell you is that here a little goes a long way. If you can truly dedicate 90 minutes a day to your business with the coaching and leadership that we're going to offer you, you'll be able to change your life, truly. 90 minutes a day minimum. That could be training, that could be putting content together, that could be putting a vacation package together, following up with a client quote, following up with someone who said they were interested in the business that haven't yet signed up. So we're going to show you how to be effective and income producing in short spurts of time. So I love the fact that I was able to build a full-time income investing less than 15 hours a week to my business. I was working 50, 60, even 70 hours a week, earning six figures on my job when you add in the additional meetings, overtime, travel, and all of those things. And now, myself being $250,000 earner and still working less in my business than I worked in corporate America is totally life changing. So I will tell you, you're going to start off with little time and then you're going to get completely obsessed with this business. I know that were true for me, where I was like, okay, I could do like an hour and a half a day. And then while working my job, I'm like, I'm working this on my lunch break. Then getting off from work, I'm putting the kids to bed early. I'm making sure dinner is served early. And I want to spend the night working my business. So again, you get to decide. But those who are most successful in this business work their business on a schedule like a job. How would you answer that question, Tina?
First of all, what you said was so powerful. And a key word that stuck out to me is obsessed. I think people literally will truly understand once you guys decide to get started. Obsession is correct. The more that we are poured into by coaches like you, some of the other top leaders within the entire company who actually care about us gaining success mentally, financially, physically, right? You will become obsessed. So for me, I did start off, very, very small hours because I am working full time and the majority of our team works full time in their day job, right? And then we also have this on the side. So for me, I had to make a decision on once I started seeing the true vision of what this opportunity could actually yield my family and I started to get more serious to increase my hours. So I am dedicated where I spend my lunch hour to my business, right? And that does look like how you were saying before. That could be anything: marketing, talking to my clients, a coaching call with my team, or whatever have you, right? Or just planning out different posts, or whatever the case may be, something dedicated to my business. That's during my lunch break. And then in the evening time. But what I love is that no one's making me do any of that. That was my choice, my free will. But as time progresses on, and then as that money starts increasing, okay, then that definitely helps out. But the financial freedom is definitely a key factor, but that time freedom. So I am a firm believer in doing what you have to do in the front end to be able to yield you your freedom on the back end. So the time freedom piece to me has been a big deal. So I do, I do make the time to invest into my business. I make it fit into my lifestyle because it is, as you said before, built for the busy person. So even if my kids are at their soccer games, track meets, cheerleading, gymnastics or dance, right? Listen, everything, right? You know a lot about that too. If your kids are always doing the things, and then bring your business with you, right? You have a mobile work center, bring it with you. You get a chance to actually. I use my cell phone primarily for my business, so I bring my cell phone with me, and as I'm in the car waiting for whatever to happen, I'm working my business. So you have to be intentional about the time that you put into it, but your hours will really dictate exactly what you want to earn and make in the business. But eventually, all of that hard work in the front end and getting your foundation set up will help you on the back end. And then that residual money piece, that definitely is nice too. You know what I mean? Doing the work one time and then letting your seeds flourish and grow has definitely been a game changer. I cannot talk about how powerful that is. I had never been ever in my life had the opportunity to have an opportunity like this before. So now that I've learned about the residual income on the marketing business, that has really helped me want to devote even more time to my business. So I love it how you set all that up.
I
Yeah.
love how the company has it set
Yep.
up with our residual because, you know, on jobs we work and we get a check and we have to do new work to get a new check. Like the job not going to keep paying you for work that you already did. And so I love that in this business, you build your team. And as you've built your team, you're paid every month. Your team decide to remain your team. And as you see, most people come into this business, they stay. Why? Because forever people thought you had to go to school to be a travel agent, that it costs a lot of money to start a travel business, that you need to have all this experience, that you're going to be by yourself. And they get into our culture as a team and they're like, oh, no, this is way more than I thought. Not only that, with travel selling, which is fun and it can be lucrative, but there's no residual in just selling travel. You book a trip, your client go on a trip, you get paid, you need to book another trip and get paid again, like you're always replacing money. So I love having the residual component in addition to the travel industry paying us as well, and just the different ways that we earn more the more we help people. That's the way life was set up. You give in order to receive, not you receive in order to give, right? And so our business model is set up in that way. And that's why I love what we do as well. And so we just think about the things we spent time doing. People talk to me about movies. I didn't know who Tiana Taylor was. And my daughter was like, Mom, I can't believe you don't know who Tiana Taylor is. I'm like, Google. I mean, she's a pretty girl. But I've been totally disconnected from, gossip groups or reality TV shows and all of those things to focus on that time into my business, which is going to pay me millions versus me watching other people earn their millions, which is a totally different concept that I learned by being in this business. I know what that means. Yaya taught me with that. So, yes, it's just so different and it's rewarding, of course, and things happen over time. Some people get it right away, some don't, but we're going to meet you where you are, no matter where that is in your process. Some people come here already experienced. We attract agents who have been a part of other host agencies, and they come to our host because They don't have to go through all these loops and hoops. We don't have contracts. We don't have quotas. We don't pressure you to do things you don't want to do, right? You see it's full transparency with what you're earning up front. So you don't have to guess and wonder how much commission you're earning. We're very transparent with all sources of income that you can earn here as well. So this has been fun, Tina. We went in, we get excited about teaching people how to make money and helping you guys get your questions answered. I always say by getting started, knowing that we have a true 30-day money back guarantee, which is why I believe we have stayed in business for over 30 years, because we really do give people their money back. Believe it or not, some people aren't good entrepreneurs. They don't have vision. They don't have patience. Oh, some people are lazy and like, oh, I actually have to do some work. If you want to make some money, right? This is not your job. You can't just clock in, sit down, do nothing and get paid, right? So I love the fact that we have that 30-day money back guarantee in place, or it just may not be a good fit for you, but get started, get your access so we can have deeper conversations and actually show you the business. And if for any reason you change your mind, you can cancel and get your money back. 30 days, that's a long time to test drive this business. Even if you are the busiest of busy people, you will have the ability to get everything that you need from this business, your credentials, access to book travel, access to travel personally, access to share this business with others, access to even getting paid. And if for whatever reason it's not for you, cancel and get your money back. So I love that. Any last thoughts, Tina, before we end our Q&A?
This was great. I just am very excited about people who are ready now to make the decision to change the entire trajectory of what's happening. And I encourage folks to not wait until your plan A is stripped away from you. We know what's happening right now. It's happened before in the past, but we're here now where it's happening again, where folks are getting laid off, fired, let go, all the things. So for me, it was really important about adding on my plan B while my plan A was still, rolling, steaming through, because you just never know what could happen. So always have multiple income streams flowing in. So that way you don't have to get ready. You would already be ready. You already be ready for whatever opportunity happens to come your way. You're already set in a place that can actually help you put food on your family's table and to keep on rolling without having to worry about how to pay for your bills or how to feed your family. So get started. We are super excited about welcoming folks to Team Relentless, to the organization as an overall whole. But yeah, congratulations for folks who are making that choice to get started now.
Yeah, so get back to your email, follow those enrollment instructions, get signed up in your business. Two-step process, read the instructions, it'll walk you straight through. If you would like to get back to the person who invited you, you have additional questions, you're more than welcome to do that. And also take a look into our sneak peek Facebook group where we have our community with our prospects who may have future questions or more questions before getting started. But thank you so much for your time. Thank you guys for being on, and we will see you on the money making side of travel.
Bravo.